Welcome home, boss. So, about the side effect of that shot.
You mean how we're all infertile now? You got kids?
Nope. Not that I ever planned on getting married. You?
The ex-wife took them. Never doing that again. I feel bad for guys who wanted to have her, though. Of course, most of them probably gave up on the idea of family life when they joined. Still, beats dying.
La última vez estuvimos empezando a hacer nuevas misiones por la Unión Soviética y haciendo misiones secundarias que irónicamente son obligatorias. Y bueno, ahora nos habíamos dejado una pendiente, así que la vamos a hacer hoy. Antes que nada, como siempre, me gustaría recomendaros la maravillosa página de Dynos, donde encontréis toda clase de productos electrónicos. Si queréis una PS5, allí la encontráis. Si queréis una PC, allí la encontráis. Si queréis un móvil nuevo, allí lo encontraréis. Todo a la mejor calidad-precio. Así que cuando queráis, si podáis, os pasáis un momentito por la página que la encontréis dándole clic en el panel grandote que pone Dynos abajo en la descripción de este directo. Pues nada, vamos a empezar. Vamos a llamar a un helicóptero.
Roger.
Ya.
Arriving shortly at LZ.
Rápido llega.
This is P-Quad. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
Vamos abajo, ahí.
Gaining altitude.
Partiéndose. Vamos. Se ha dicho. El bono de siempre. Compensas que nunca falten. A ver, se cuece por aquí. Puedo, así que... Muy buenas, Fede. Bienvenido a este directo. Siéntate, ponte cómodo, coge unas palomitas y disfruta. ¿Qué tal estás, compañero? ¿Qué tal el puente? No hay por ahí. Norte de Kabul, Afganistán. Pero pues... ya pues. Y de momento no podemos sacar... el Battle Gear. Pues nada, sí, vamos a empezar. Iniciamos misión a las 6. Ya va, Fede. Aquí el Diony haciendo su último directo del domingo, porque la semana que viene, como os recuerdo, cambiamos. Yo pueda, claro. Y porque vosotros lo habéis querido, como dejé en mi encuesta de Twitter, la semana que viene tendremos otra semana más de Metal Gear Solid 5. Aquí os dejo una maravillosa pista. Sí. Sí, vamos.
Be careful down there, boss.
Vale, tendré cuidado. Os baño. Voy a dejar esto aquí marcado. Vale, marcado. Nos vamos a ir y mientras vamos a escuchar alguna caseta.
The name Walla Yamasa got quite a reaction from you. I'm guessing the Kakongo strain was released in that village.
Cypher used that region to experiment with vocal cord parasite transmission. The Kakongo strain. The settlements around the refinery upstream.
Posiblemente este directo no sea muy largo debido a que es domingo y mañana tengo que madrugar.
Dangerous work. If they failed to contain the infection, it would slip into the surrounding regions.
At which point the world found out about the parasites, making them useless as a weapon. Incredible they'd risk such a thing.
The test site was densely populated too. A terrible place for such experiments. No doubt, they thought burning everything would wipe away all traces. The settlements were covered in oil anyway. Who would wonder if one day they caught fire? And so it did. They burned it all. Living and dead. Those remains. But they miscalculated. Transmission speed was far faster than anticipated. It may have been the temperature, or hygiene standards, or perhaps the parasites reacted quickly to Kakongo.
Mierda, esta.
Whatever the reason, nearly all villages were swiftly infected, and the settlements reduced to mounds of corpses. Making matters worse, the dry season was ending. When it came time to burn the village, The Moneni River had swelled. Many of the bodies were waterlogged.
Meaning they didn't burn completely.
The corpses still contained viable eggs, and the larvae washed downstream. And when the people downstream drank that water,
That marked the end for Bwala Yamasa.
I learned all of this at the mansion. I warned him of the risk
Pues ni
of
hacía falta
eggs getting
que...
out.
And
We are prepared for any eventuality.
I get it. Putting the oil field back online. The oil leaks. Saner. They plan to pollute the river. Prevent the spread of infection.
Y
the oil flow was stopped, and downstream the people of Masa village started using the water again. The PF soldiers deployed at the village were locals, spoke Kikongo. They were infected, and the kids survived.
I've heard enough.
And who stopped the flow of oil?
Don't.
We did.
That confirms it. The source of the Kikongo strain infection was Masa village. And the children brought it here. It is no one's fault. There is no blame to be cast.
The parasites, they were tested in other regions?
Their physiology required that they be tested under varied conditions. Another test site was in Afghanistan.
So it was the parasites there.
Both the Pashto and Tajik languages are spoken in the mountains of Afghanistan, and population density is low. Ideal testing grounds for how accurately the parasites target only the specified language. It is also relatively easy to prevent the spread of infection.
And the results?
The first test, I am told, was a success. Once the Pashtun Mujahideen were infected with the Pashto strain, they were all but wiped out.
The Hamid fighters at Smasei Fort.
It was doubly successful. No Tajik Mujahideen or Soviet soldiers became symptomatic.
So the parasites proved to be effective. What about the second?
The Pashtun village was the target. However, the original aim was... samples of the infected. In this, they failed.
And the village?
The Soviets enacted a standard scorched earth operation.
That must have been the village where Malak lived, before being held captive at La Marjate Palace.
Having had more time to think on it, the details shared with me may have been false. They are madmen who would do anything to cover up the truth.
They certainly seem to like tossing their problems in the fire.
Vale.
As a boy, Skullface's life went up in flames. Perhaps that is what fuels his fixation with fire.
Your Wolbachia stopped the infection all right, but I still don't get it. How can a few bacteria change males to females? I know they're only bugs, but...
It is not such a rare thing in the natural world. Many insects and nematodes are infected with Wolbachia.
But why?
They nest in the cell cytoplasm of the host, even in the egg cells, with the result that the offspring are born infected.
Mother-to-child transmission.
However, Wolbachia cannot nest in sperm because they do not have cytoplasm. So even a successful infection of a male ends after a single generation. This means the Wolbachia must resort to maximizing the population of infected females.
Sounds like an ethnic cleansing campaign on a tiny scale.
Gender change from male to female is their survival tactic.
So more females means more Wolbachia carriers, so it can keep thriving in the following generations.
But the parasites in a human host are supposed to be a mating pair. If there's no male, there'll be no offspring at all. It's killing itself.
Slow down. This tactic is intended for environments where a single male can copulate with multiple females. Originally, the Wolbachia did not infect the vocal cord parasites. I created a mutated strain, modifying the Wolbachia so that it could infect monogamous pairs. The Wolbachia's greatest multiplying tactic, the male-to-female change, worked against itself
Voy a
in
intentar
the
llevarnos a
monogamous
los... A ver,
parasites. Just as you said.
porque ese me
I
interesa.
performed repeated selection of Wolbachia strains until I achieved 100% certainty of male-to-female conversion.
No, no, no.
Creating female-female pairs, unable to reproduce.
And you say the Wolbachia affects the host of the host, that is, us, cutting off our means to reproduce?
It is almost certain. Of course, we will not turn.
Ya me lo has cargado,
After
guaya.
all, mammals possess no natural gender-changing function.
O vaya
But
porque
some
lo quería para mi
strains
equipo.
can cause cytoplasmic incompatibility in the host.
Is that some cell deformity?
Put simply, it means the
No, no
ovum
pasa.
sperm of infected males kill the female's
wow.
egg on contact.
And that's happened to us?
Yes, and yet
About this OKB-0 Emmerich was talking about. Its location
vamos a
and
coger
features match the citadel in the
mierda que hay
mountains
por aquí.
northeast of the Soviet base camp. Built during the time of Alexander the Great, it was left in ruins following one of Genghis Khan's campaigns. Its occupants changed time and again due to war, and it was expanded on more than one occasion. Ultimately, it fell into the hands of the Soviet philosophers. The Soviet army was using it as the headquarters of its Afghan invasion force. But it would seem that Skullface's connections with the philosophers gave him license to develop Sahelanthropus there. And that's what Emmerich was doing at the place, before he got the axe. But OKB is a designation the Soviets use for weapon design bureaus. There's no way they'd have one of those
Plan
in
material lo que no
Afghanistan.
está escrito.
And in principle, the numbers that follow OKB are always integers above 1. There is no 0. Perhaps this was a secret facility of the Soviet and Chinese philosophers dating back prior to World War II. Though it's more likely Skullface just picked a fake name that more or less fit the Soviets' pattern. He doesn't go there often, but he sure as hell won't miss this. They use the heliport on top of the tower for his visits. Start by heading for the heliport. Then wait for your chance to make contact with Skullface.
It seems Sahelanthropus's armor is made from depleted uranium. That offers some serious protection. The U.S. military is planning on using it for its main battle tanks, too. Maybe that's where Emmerich got the technology.
uranium. They're using nuclear fuel for armor
De la
now.
época.
No. What they use for nuclear fuel is uranium-235, which is extracted from natural uranium. Depleted uranium is a byproduct of that process. Sort of like the leftovers, I guess. The garbage. Uranium-235 makes up 0.72% of natural uranium, whereas depleted uranium contains only 0.2%.
What are the benefits of using it for armor?
It's a pretty short list. Uranium's a heavy metal, like lead, meaning it can hold a greater amount of kinetic energy. But it also boasts a hardness closer to tungsten. That makes it an ideal material to use for, say, armor-piercing ammunition penetrators. But it's not the best choice for armor. Its volume is less than that of ceramics, but for an equal weight, you could end up with less protection.
So why use it then?
According to Emmerich, it came down to him being unable to source ceramics technology from a manufacturer. Plus, given that it's an upright walking vehicle, he wanted to reduce the bulk of certain areas. Despite all that, depleted uranium still makes for some tough armor. And Emmerich says it's been proven in live fire tests. It stops most Soviet tank shells.
limpiar la zona lo que no está aquí. Y todo esto acá. Espalda. Súper. Y podemos irnos arriba a ver. Aquí una tormenta de un diamante en bruto, súper. Ahora dinerito para la base y poder desarrollar más mierda. Puerta. A ver si pasa esta tormenta. Joder, lo difícil que se me hizo en su día esta base, la bien santa. No me tocó la moral ni nada esta base. Pero bueno, ya está conquistada. Supuestamente ya no sufriremos peligro soviético por aquí nunca más. Hipotéticamente, claro está. Vale. No es como brilla la luna esta noche. Siempre por aquí hay cosas. No a esto. Y esto. Hace falta un tanque, la verdad. Era por aquí. Sería guay, pero como no, pues está jodido. Un diamante en bruto. Que se venga para acá. Vale. Acá. Por aquí. Bien. Pero no puedo dejar cosas por el camino. Restos del hombre de fuego. Restos del hombre de fuego. Aquí, pues nada. Se viene cinema. Tica. Pues tenía que haber desarrollado la pistola de agua. Pero por majarón no la desarrollo. A la mierda. Está un unicornio. Tomamos un sol. Solid 3. F en el chat por ahí. Muy buena, Nikki, bienvenida a este directo. Siéntate, ponte cómoda, coge unas palomitas y disfruta. ¿Qué tal estás, compañera? Sí, al Deadpool, sí. War Buddy. Pues me alegro por ti. ¿Qué te cuenta? Cuenta, cuenta. Si no, no está mal. El anime, pues ya la primera parte ya he tenido que acabar. Ya la siguiente... No. Terminó la semana pasada. La semana pasada fue. Ya salió el capítulo la semana pasada. Ahora espera a el año que viene. O finales de este año, puede ser también. Yo creo que va viene el año que viene. Se murió Deadpool.
I barely recognize you, Colonel. Skullface used your thirst for revenge against Big Boss, did he?
Boss, I've updated the mission list. We've received some new job offers. The details are on your iDroid.
Vale, pero antes me deja desarrollar. Sí, Aniki. Que si lo quieras ver ahora, adelante. Ya está. Ah, mierda. Vamos a desarrollar la pistola de arma. No me falta ni nada para desarrollar esta arma, la en Santa. Aún no lo voy a desarrollar este. Una misil. Aún no vamos a ir al Killer B. Pero ese ya ni te cuento. Son las más top de las más top. No me queda nada. Bueno. Vamos más. Vale. Como en cuarentena, donde conmigo. Estaba quiet. Pues nada, nos vamos. Joder. Aquí hay cosillas. Máscara de gas. ¿Por dónde sale, por cierto? Ah, bueno, puedo seguir por ahí. Vamos para allá, no. Vamos para allá, no puedo salirme yo por ahí. Vale, pues estoy perdido. Por aquí no puedo entrar. Mejor salirme antes de pillarme alguna infección y vayamos a por ella. Vale, nada. Ah, bueno, vaya, hay una escalera aquí y yo sin verla. Seré. Bueno, vamos a mi lista de misiones. Vale, quiero lo que quiera, vale. Aquí no hay bicho. Pues nada, vamos a pedir un helicóptero y nos vamos de misión.
Roger.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ.
Vamos, baja. Que ya me...
Gaining altitude.
Nada. Ahí sí.
Boss, about Eli. No matter how many times we talk to him, he just won't listen. He sees everything in terms of victory or defeat and still won't accept that you beat him. We're gonna have to put him in his place. Again. If you don't mind, come back to Mother Base and go another round with him.
Sí, pues ya está. Vamos a Harry Potter y el legado maldito. Vamos para allá. Y... ¿dónde No, esto está más guay. Nada, empecemos cuanto antes. Legado maldito. Solo faltaba por poner Harry Potter.
Boss, Code Talker's research has been stolen. The research materials have been packed into 2 containers and hidden in the jungle southwest of the mansion. Enemy extraction choppers will be there any minute. You have to find and retrieve those containers before they arrive. That area is being guarded by zero-risk security, and their client is XOF. If the choppers make off with the containers, that research will end up in Cypher's hands. That cannot be allowed to happen. One other thing, boss. We need a cargo-capable Fulton extraction device to recover the containers. Use your iDroid to order its development and have it dropped in.
Be careful down there, boss.
Traigan los contenedores, con mucho gusto.
So what were they doing in Zoya Badia, Baloo? That facility with all the people laid out in rows.
The abandoned factory Shabani was held in. It is precisely as you guessed. Black Anna was coding languages into the vocal cord parasites. They infected the subjects with the parasites, then made an incision in the throat to expose the vocal cords. That allowed them to play recordings of a desired language directly to the parasites. And the parasites learn the languages that way. That's some teaching method. I just don't get how a bunch of bugs had the brain power for it. They don't. Do not judge them by human standards. They do not learn as a function of intellect.
Then how do they do it?
What language the parasites react to is coded into their genes. You could expose the Japanese strain to English for years, and it would never learn the language and react to it. The pronunciation, rhythm, and structure are different. But what about, say, Spanish and Portuguese? Linguistically, the two are very close.
Yeah, they're both Ibero-Romance languages.
Even so, a Spanish language mating pair exposed to Portuguese will not copulate. Only when they hear Spanish. Only then. And the majority of their offspring will be the same.
So it's a literal case of a mother tongue. But if that's so, I don't see how the different strains can be created in the first place.
Well, among the many thousands of offspring, there may be just a few that react to Portuguese.
You're talking about mutations.
Correct. Playing the tapes helps to identify the mutant strains. Those specimens are then isolated and bred with one another. From their children, specimens that react more strongly to Portuguese can again be selected and bred. Repeating this process creates a strain that reacts solely to Portuguese and never to Spanish. Mutation and selection. No different to breeding roses.
So you kept increasing the change over the generations, adapting them to languages from all over the world. Must have taken a hell of a lot of patience.
More like patience. Just how many died for this?
There's something I still don't get. In order to tell which larvae will react to Portuguese, you'd have to let them develop and then see which copulate. That means you'd need tens of thousands of guinea pigs. There's no way you could do that in a facility that small.
For normal selective breeding methods, you would be right. But there is a more effective selection method when training the vocal cord parasites. Go on.
No jodo, ahí otra vez.
In mating that the parasites listen for language. Shortly before hatching, larvae display markedly increased activity in reaction to particular language. The active eggs can be identified under a black light. So the eggs that react to Portuguese...
Guards, they must know where the containers are. If you can just squeeze it out of them.
So you see, narrowing down strains that react to the target language is an effective process. Though I'm sure that even so, many lost their lives to create the various strains. Taken against their will into that dungeon. There are two reasons for playing the tapes for the parasites. One, to isolate the eggs that respond to the target language. And two, to cause the specimens raised from the selected eggs to mate.
I get how the system works. But why do they respond to language before they even hatch? It's not like they can mate from inside an egg.
It is because the larvae learn the language before hatching.
You mentioned that what language the parasites respond to is hard-coded into their genes, and that they don't have the brain power to actually learn a language. But then you say that the larvae at Nzoyabadiaburu...
Boss, looks like they're stepping up security around the target. Watch yourself.
The country is home to a unique songbird. The Japanese bush warbler.
Sure, what of it?
What a beautiful call it has. But no bush warbler can sing it perfectly at the start. As chicks, they can barely chirp at all. They must learn from their parents and other adult birds. Only then can they sing properly and attract females. So naturally, there are individual differences in each bird's call. Though they start on the same footing, each bird is influenced by its teachers.
And the parasites are the same?
Like the birds, the parasites have a genetic predisposition towards a particular language. But while in the egg, the larvae's ears are tweaked by listening to the voice of the host. This tweaking ensures that the grown parasites will react better to the host's speech pattern.
Why would they have an ability like that?
Well, there are distinct regional differences within even the same language. Rare is the language that has no unique dialects. Yes, learning the host's speech pattern before hatching attunes the larvae to whatever twist of pronunciation it will encounter. This adaptive ability is what makes them so formidable.
I see. So a language requires selective breeding, but the parasites can learn dialects by themselves.
Of course, having the egg stage larvae listen to the tapes in the factory was not meant to teach them.
Our early warning radar still hasn't picked up the enemy choppers. But it's only a matter of time before they arrive.
I mentioned earlier.
Is that really accurate enough to use as a weapon? You could wipe out a neighboring ethnic group by accident if their pronunciation is too close.
What you say is true. In that sense, they are imperfect as ethnic cleansers. But for his purposes, they are good enough. His objective was not to exterminate any one ethnic group, but to render the world's lingua franca, English, inert.
ver. Pues ya no hace falta que me pegue a ulti, ya me está luchando la lluvia. Toma por culo. Esto que me lo lleve. Localizar. Está bien, cabrón. Carne a él. Ah, vale. Vale. Echamos los casetas.
Volgan, the GRU colonel, was burned alive with a Shagohod during Operation Snake Eater 20 years ago. Despite suffering severe burns to his entire body, he still clung to life. After you left Seleniarsk, Volgan's body was taken to a research institute in the outskirts of Moscow. But modern medicine couldn't explain why he was still alive. Not that the colonel was any ordinary man to begin with. That constant electric current he had running through his body that he could unleash at will. To be honest, I was always uncomfortable around him. Thought I might get electrocuted just by standing nearby. The institute studying him was tasked with investigating and developing human paranormal abilities.
Vale. Lo que nos cuenta. Va.
Was used to further the Soviet
I've updated the information on your iDroid.
But not long ago, the facility burned to the ground. And Volgan's body was never found among the rubble, even though the fire started in the room where they were keeping him. This occurred at around the same time you woke up. If Skullface was right, and a thirst for revenge can turn a man into a demon and keep the dead alive, then this man on fire who's been coming after us ever since you woke up, well, that just might be what's left of our old friend Volgan. It's not over yet. Back in '64, in Selenios, you brought his plans for a utopia down in flames. That grudge is what's keeping him alive. The day the research facility holding Volgan burned down, a Soviet jumbo passenger jet happened to crash nearby, far away to the north of that hospital in Cyprus. On board the plane was a young boy who was being studied at the same facility. The plane fell to Earth from over 8,000 feet, but the boy's body was the only one not recovered. At almost exactly the same time as the crash, Volgan awoke in that facility. According to the Research Institute's documents, the gifts this boy demonstrated included psychokinesis and telepathy. To protect his mind from being inundated with other people's thoughts, he always wore a kind of gas mask. A rudimentary form of psychic insulation, apparently. We don't... But if Skullface is connected to him, we may cross paths with him yet. This boy is part of a new age, where nothing we understand about the world makes sense anymore.
Emmerich didn't go with depleted uranium for Sahelanthropus' armor because of its strength.
He had nukes in mind.
Exactly. It's meant to use its body as the fuel component for a nuclear weapon. Sahelanthropus uses built-in uranium enrichment archaea to melt its own body and extract uranium-235 from the depleted uranium in its armor. Those archaea perform the enrichment in an extremely short time. The concentration jumps by a factor of several hundred, from 0.2% to over 90%. The end result being highly enriched weapons-grade uranium. Sahelanthropus' body itself becomes a nuclear bomb. Emmerich says if it were to self-destruct, the nuclear yield would be somewhere in the region of 15 kilotons, since you need about 50 kilograms of highly enriched uranium to trigger a nuclear reaction. That would mean Sahelanthropus contains something like 23 tons of depleted uranium.
That's not very much.
No, it isn't. That's about what you'd expect to find in a main battle tank's armor. The point is, it can be transported anywhere, even use its conventional weaponry on the battlefield. And the international community will never suspect a thing.
Vamos a ver.
I just received word from the R&D team and the transport team out of Afghanistan. They finished installing Sahelanthropus on the base. It's ours now.
Vale, trae para acá.
Don't let any of the staff touch that thing.
Nice find. Analyzing the intel file you picked up. We've got a fix on the target. Check it on your iDroid.
See his tech stand on its own two legs this time.
That's not gonna happen.
I know it.
Vale,
So you've got no plans to make it operational again?
Damn right.
Boss, I want to hear it straight from you.
Hear what?
What the hell do you want with that thing? The drive is busted. It's not like it has a nuke on board. Even if the metallic archaea could turn it into a nuclear weapon, all it can do is self-destruct. Sahelanthropus just isn't a weapon anymore. It'll draw unwanted attention without even being a deterrent.
I know.
Vale,
The weapons development strut sank 2 feet under that thing's weight. That's 1 year's drop in a single night. We've started on reinforcing the strut, but there's no guarantee it'll hold up if a storm hits.
I know that too.
Boss, why keep it?
It's a mark.
Us Diamond Dogs, we don't have a country to call home. That means we have no past, nothing to prove that we lived. Every one of us threw it all away when we came here. Sahelanthropus is a symbol to show that the likes of us brought at least one crisis to its end.
A mark in history. So we can't just fade away.
It's of no practical use to us. But we still need it.
A symbol
No,
of
llevarnos
what
al
we've
hospital
done.
no haga falta.
I'm glad I sounded you out on this. Snake.
Ya tenías que hacer la gracia, Quire.
I want to thank you.
I don't need gratitude. I need security. Keep Emmerich away from that thing.
Roger that.
Vamos a llevar nuestra mierda.
Target extraction confirmed. That leaves one target to go. Take care of the next one. Boss, our early warning radar just picked up the enemy choppers. We'll keep you informed of their ETA. Hurry up and extract the target.
You can't go firing on the XOF choppers. If we attack XOF now, it'll be a declaration of war against Cypher itself. That time will come, but it's not now.
Ahora, what? Dynos. Nadie fue. Esto se viene para abajo.
All right. Target extraction confirmed. We've avoided the worst possible outcome. Exfiltrate the area. Go ahead and call the chopper. You can also exfiltrate the mission area by land.
Mismo.
Roger.
No, 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 no. Van a irnos todos follados para casa antes de que vengan más soldados. Angoleños y nos matamos un poco.
Arriving shortly at LZ.
No quiero estar.
This is Pequod. On station at LZ.
Ahora. Se viene a la basura. Y llevamos a Arno porque es el más caro.
Gaining altitude.
Vengamos de aquí.
Departing.
That's it. You've made it out of the hot zone. No sign of the enemy. Mission complete, boss.
Wow, 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 unidad de combate.
Mission complete, boss.
Mariposa. Vale, super.
Boss, we got Code Talker's research materials back in one piece. The medical team has them under lock and key in the quarantine facility. The materials should help their research into the
Muy buenas, Carlitos, bienvenido a este directo. Siéntate, ponte cómodo, coge unas palomitas y disfruta. ¿Qué tal estás, compañero? Como veo otro jugador de Metal Gear Solid por aquí, pues disfruta del directo, aunque no sea de mucha calidad.
Boss, about that AI pod you retrieved from Emmerich's research facility. Guess what we found inside? A corpse. Human. The pod maintained a low internal temperature the whole time, and very little outside air got in. That would have slowed down decomposition. Still, the remains were mostly skeletal. Estimated time of death is between 6 months and a year ago. We put the screws to Huey about it. Listen to the tape. Turns out it was the body of someone we knew very well.
Alguien que conocimos muy bien. ¿Quién podría ser? Desarrollo. Vale, recurso. Vale. Ítems, vamos a ver. De momento nada que me interese, la verdad. La pañoleta, vale. Desarrollarlo, entonces, pues nada. Misiones. Pues allí. Vale, así está guay. Huellas de fantasmas. Magia total. Bueno, vamos allá.
This contract comes from the People's Movement for the Liberation of Angola, also known as the MPLA. The PF at Ditati Abandoned Village has been supplied with walker gears. Your job is to eliminate them all. Destroy them, extract them, Whatever you see fit. This just might get us closer to the Walker Gear supplier, Cypher. Good luck, boss.
O este mismo.
Fine. Yes, Strangelove was doing AI research in that lab.
Why hide that until now?
Okay, so what? I wasn't working alone. You've got to understand. You do understand, right?
Ahí.
I didn't want to drag her into this. It's my load to bear, alone.
Sí, vamos.
So you didn't create the AI intended to drive Sahelanthropus. It was Strangelove.
Skullface was never in favor of AI control. So naturally they argued. Strangelove, she got him angry and he killed her.
How? You didn't see it? So you found her inside that pod after the fact.
Tan tremendas.
And you just left her body to rot in there. Or perhaps you put her in there afterward.
I asked him not to take her away from me.
So she was killed by Skullface, but you asked nicely, and he put her body in the AI pod for you?
That's right.
Pathetic. You know, we have another idea. That you killed her.
Me? I couldn't kill her.
You killed her and locked her body in the pod.
I wouldn't. Don't treat me like one of you. I can't just kill anyone whenever I feel like it. I'm a normal human being.
The targets have been deployed to that outpost. Find and eliminate all of them.
Waited for her to die.
Vamos, que haga una puñetera masacre.
What, you mean she killed herself?
Yes. She climbed inside that pod and shut the door. It can't be opened from the outside. It was suicide. Suicide, I said. She killed herself. She got in when I wasn't looking and suffocated. She'd often try to do things like that. By the time I realized and opened the door, she wasn't breathing. I got scared and shut the pod again. I couldn't bring myself to open it back up. That's right. Me? Kill her? What is wrong with you?
I see. Just tell me one more thing.
Vale.
Haven't you gotten enough today?
Okay, I see it's a painful memory. You don't have to answer, just listen to the question. You see, we examined her remains. She had a scar on her lower abdomen, a surgical scar. It had been stitched up and had fully healed, meaning it was long before her death. She had a child, didn't she? Your child. Where's the kid?
How should I know?
So there is a child.
I've never seen his face.
What do you take us for?
They took it all. Even my child. I didn't even know he'd been born. I lost everything.
How old would he be?
It's 4 years since then.
And you know it's a boy.
Strangelove said so.
And his name?
We called him Hal, even though I never saw his face.
Se me pone a llorar el güey.
boss, get down. The enemy sniper. Stay low and crawl along the ground. That should enable you to sneak past enemies.
Mierda.
Damn it! Mission's a failure.
Como si fuera en el Metal Gear Solid 1.
The PF at Ditati Abandoned Village has been supplied with walker gears. Your job is to eliminate them all. Destroy them, extract them, whatever you see fit. Good luck, boss. The targets have been deployed to that outpost. Find and eliminate all of them.
Fatta complicate. Joder. Si era eso de aquí. Vediamo di iniziare.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Fire. Fire.
Begin cover fire.
Fire! Fire!
No, ¿cómo lo hacemos?
Fire!
Sniper, cabrón. Pero va a estar complicado.
Cease cover fire! Cover me! Fire at will! Cover me!
Vale. Ya. Vamos a cazar que se mueven así, pues dispararlas, pero... ¿Cómo?
Fire! Fire! Fire!
del juego. A ver. ¿Cuántas medicinales cerca? Vale. Vale. Ahora a cargarnos los walkers. No. Oh, nos lo llevamos mejor. Una preguntilla, ahora que lo pienso. ¿Vosotros habéis visto la película de Pequeños Guerreros? Ahora estoy empezando a darle vuelta y... ¿Por qué coño el comando de élite no tenía una unidad médica o un equipo médico? Me pregunto. Porque podría haberle hecho muchísimo apaño un equipo médico. Pero un equipo médico en condiciones, no un equipo actor de mierda de primer auxilio. Digo, porque perfectamente podría haber encontrado una solución para lo de Nick Nitro. Y evitar que el pobre se muriera. Solo pregunto eso. Para los que os hayáis visto la película de Pequeños Guerreros.
Subject is in.
Ahora se me ha pasado así por la cabeza. Pero bueno, ahora que no hay nadie, vamos a buscar los walkers. Y ahora vamos aquí. Vi. Voy a llevarme el Killer B, me lo lleva. Otro reto logrado. Super. Pregunta, ¿dónde coño están los walker guías? ¿Dónde carajo estarán? yo no lo encuentro por aquí. Supuestamente está en la zona. Bueno, ahora que busco. Pero yo no lo encuentro. Negra. Vamos a destrozar las comunicaciones. No, esto no. Esto. Aquí es.
That's a target. Eliminate it any way you'd like.
No, ya para los 4. Por si le hiciera falta.
Nice work. That's the way.
Ahora no tenía una destrucción masiva, pues nos las cargamos así. Vamos ahí.
Roger.
Vamos a escuchar una radio así de jaja.
Emmerich uses externally powered legs of his own design. It's bionics technology, a product of the U.S. military's failed attempt to develop a powered exoskeleton. All the wearer has to do is apply a little force, and the actuators continue the movement in that direction. But his legs are unique. Instead of using a hydraulic mechanism, the actuators run off metallic archaea. That increases the actuator's reaction speed and also enables him to lock and release the joints at will. The legs are a nifty little gadget, but they have two clear weaknesses. First, they're dependent on external power. Maybe because he built them knowing he couldn't leave his lab. There's no internal battery. That's why they won't work if they aren't plugged in. Second, and this is more than just a weakness, the legs are directly connected to his bones, and the drive responds from them. Either way, Emmerich has used bolts to attach load-bearing parts directly to his femurs, probably by mimicking surgical treatment for compound fractures and the like. But the end result is those legs and his body are fused together, and that appears to be how he's able to move them so precisely. But that also means that any shock to the legs would be delivered right to his bones by way of those bolts. The same is true if he encounters the corrosive metallic archaea. If the corrosive archaea ate into the exposed bolts, they'd reach the endoskeleton parts and eat through them too in the blink of an eye. The doctor's bones are full of holes to accommodate all the bolts. They're like sponges. If he were to lose the reinforcing parts, even the tiniest bit of force or weight would snap his bones. So when I dangled those corrosive metallic archaea in front of him, He realized straight away what would happen.
Vamos a volver a mirar.
Life wouldn't be worth living if he lost those legs of his. I'd bet that is what the doctor fears the most. I just helped him imagine what it would be like. Thanks to that, I got the information we needed without either of us getting hurt. You know how he is. He's probably already over the shock. The better you know your adversary, the easier it is for you to get information from them. And vice versa.
Igual se puede esperar un poquillo más. Aquí. Nada, lo llevamos.
Nice work. Great. No targets remaining.
Ahora sí.
Your objective's complete. Exfiltrate out of the hot zone by chopper or on land.
Bueno, vamos bien. Tenemos más recursos para los camaradas. Ahí. Bueno, da igual. Lo importante es que nos vamos a largar de aquí, pero cagándonos. Ahora que podemos, ahora que podemos, ahora que queremos. Paro ya. Y saliendo.
Mission complete. Great work.
Cuando ve. Sí, muy bien.
Boss, we were right. Once you'd eliminated those walker gears, a resupply call was made from Ditati to CFA headquarters. The CFA then contacted none other than Sainer. That's right, the shell company that owned Mfinda Oilfield. So Sainer was just a front for Cypher. The resupply won't be happening just yet. But we did learn that the walker gears are transported out of Nova Braga Airport. Apparently, there's a distribution network on the Savannah that links all the PF outposts. I'll have the intel team investigate this network. If Cypher is supplying PFs with walker gears, the PFs have to be offering them something in return. We follow the money trail. We might just find ourselves on Cypher's doorstep.
Pues guay. Tenemos todo eso. Vamos a ver qué pillar.
Code Talker examined everyone here. And one of us is infected. It's quiet. It was our cutting-edge MRI that finally revealed it. But we don't know what language strain it is. Get back to base. Time for her to talk. You know the room
Ahora
number.
mismo la haremos hablar.
101.
Es hora de que Wyatt no haga honor a su nombre. Aunque me da pena porque estaba OP. Diamond Dogs. Empiezan las torturas. Típicas de Ocelot.
Talk?
Sabe que no hablo. Bueno, ahí casi boss. Bueno, nueva sección.
Anything?
Bueno, no sé si esto podré subirlo a YouTube, la verdad.
How about you drop the act? Who infected you with a parasite?
We can't let her talk. Put it back.
All I want's a name. That won't trigger anything. Tell me. Tell me! Your lungs have been barbecued. There's traces of rubbing alcohol in your alveoli. This was found adhered to your lungs, intact. A petal. White Star of Bethlehem. The hospital. Skullface sent you to Cyprus to kill Snake. You were burned inside and out. That should have been the end of it. But, all things considered, you look pretty damn healthy to me. We have Skullface to thank for that, right?
I was the only one capable of applying them to parasite therapy. Until he stole them from me.
Why are you here? Did Skullface send you? Or did you have your own score to settle with the boss?
Echarle el agua encima.
Refreshing? Salt water.
No! She'll die!
Joder.
His life isn't yours to take. Enough.
That's enough.
If she wanted to kill the boss, he'd already be dead.
Same goes for us. She's had plenty of chances.
She can't talk. She's not here to kill anyone. You're wasting your time. It doesn't matter why she's here. She works for you now. She's in love with the legend.
Se nota, se nota. Lo que me pregunto es si vos estará dispuesto a ponerle los cuernos a Eva.
What if she's a spy?
What if I'm a spy? Or you? Go on all day.
Boss.
Let her go. She won't speak so she can't spread the infection.
Empezamos ya con los piques.
Napagetin Tish? Mish Nagetin Ti.
Oh,
Y al fin habló.
Idiki Blak Anat E.
oh. Ako kode jisdesni.
Dne Bizad.
Belagana
Inglés.
gisnita. Katobe yasteta. Aseitota.
Entiendo.
Dodo nishita. Dodo nishita.
So quiet. Pues nada. Pues como dije, llevamos ya casi 2 horas de directo. Vamos a ir dejándolo por aquí. A ver quién podemos hacerle una raid. Pero vamos a ir haciendo al bueno de Play Experience, ¿por qué no? Y nada, pues ya está. Hemos hecho una... Ya se va, sí. Ya me voy porque resulta que mañana madrugo, porque mañana tan rápido ya. ¿Sabes lo que pasa, Carlito? Que mañana tengo que trabajar y no puedo estar tanto tiempo como quisiera. ¿Estaría más? Sí, pero no puedo. Pero tranquilo porque para la semana que viene, ya que vosotros lo habéis querido, vamos a seguir con Metal Gear Solid 4 en vez de empezar con Uncharted 4. Bueno, Metal Gear Solid 4, Metal Gear Solid 5. Así que no te preocupes que habrá más Metal Gear Solid la semana que viene, Carlito. Y ojalá puedas pasarte por aquí y nos echamos nos pasamos un buen rato juntos. En fin, la semana que viene seguiremos intentando descubrir el secreto que el misterio que envuelve a Quiet. En fin, muchas gracias a la Niki Lluvia, a Fede, a Carlito y a todos los que os habéis pasado por este directo. En fin, muchas gracias por tus deseos, Carlito. Igualmente. Y larga vida y bueno, muchas gracias Lluvia, Fede y sobre todo a Carlitos por ese follow. Muchas gracias Carlitos por ese corazoncito. Bienvenido a este peculiar mundo de Dionisiaco. Y un aplauso para ti. Y ahora que podéis, si tenéis una oportunidad, pues pasaros por el canal, por la página de Dynos, que merece mucho la pena. En fin, si os ha gustado este directo, dale al corazoncito, seguidme en YouTube, seguidme en Twitter, seguidme en Instagram, seguidme en Twitch para los que me seguís en YouTube siempre que queráis. Y nos vemos en la próxima. Price Volume y Raid para Play Experience. Espérate. Sí. Para Play Experience.